Do you ever notice how some older men in their 50s, 60s, even 70s, still walk into a room and quietly take command of it? They're not the loudest. They're not trying to impress. They're not chasing youth. Yet people look twice. Their presence feels calm, grounded, and assured. Women notice them. Other men respect them. And conversations seem to naturally orbit around them. What's interesting is that these men rarely follow fashion trends. They don't dress flashy. They don't copy what younger men wear. And they certainly don't try to look 20 years younger than they are. Instead, they look comfortable in their age, and paradoxically, that's what makes them appear younger. Most people assume this kind of presence comes from money, genetics, or extreme discipline. Some believe it's about surgery, hair transplants, or expensive grooming routines. But that's not the truth. This kind of magnetism doesn't come from changing your body. It comes from understanding perception. And one of the most powerful perception tools you have, one that requires no surgery, no dieting, and no transformation, is color. Color is not just fabric. It's information. Before you speak a word, before someone hears your voice, before they know your age, your background, or your status, their brain is already making judgments based on what you're wearing. Studies in visual psychology and behavioral science show that first impressions form in under 7 seconds, and color plays one of the largest roles in that judgment. Color affects how healthy your skin appears, how bright your eyes look, how strong your posture feels, and even how emotionally stable and trustworthy you seem. Certain colors can soften the appearance of aging. Others can exaggerate it. Some colors make you look tired, rigid, or invisible. Others quietly communicate vitality, confidence, and masculine presence. On aging skin, this is critical. As men grow older, contrast becomes dangerous. Colors that are too harsh, especially pure black, can exaggerate facial lines, darken under-eye shadows, and drain warmth from the skin. Black doesn't forgive. It exposes. Navy, on the other hand, restores. It softens the edges of the face. It makes the skin appear firmer and more even. It brightens the whites of the eyes without looking artificial. And it subtly sharpens posture, making the shoulders appear broader and the stance more grounded. This is why navy has long replaced black for men who understand presence. Stylists often call navy the mature man's black. It carries the same seriousness and authority, but without the rigidity. Where black can make an older man look severe, tired, or emotionally distant, navy adds depth. It communicates composure rather than dominance, confidence rather than control. And that distinction matters more with age. Psychologically, navy blue is associated with trust, competence, emotional control, reliability, wisdom. This isn't coincidence. Navy is the color of uniforms, institutions, and leadership, not because it intimidates, but because it reassures. That's why it's worn by diplomats, executives, military officers, senior professionals. It sends a message that says, "This man is steady. He knows himself. You can rely on him." For older men, that message is incredibly attractive, especially in social or age gap dynamics. Navy projects authority without aggression. You don't look like you're trying to impress anyone. You don't look like you're clinging to relevance. You look like someone who already belongs, who has earned his place. And people respond to that instinctively. There's a subtle shift that happens when an older man wears navy. People don't feel challenged by him. They feel safe around him. Conversations become smoother. Respect becomes automatic. Attention becomes effortless. I once met a 74-year-old retired engineer named Richard. For most of his life, he wore black almost exclusively. Black coats. Black sweaters. Black jackets. He believed black made him look refined and serious. But the truth was, it washed him out. His daughter convinced him to try something different, just once. A navy blazer paired with a light gray shirt. Nothing else changed. Same haircut. Same body. Same posture. The difference was immediate. He looked more rested. More approachable. Stronger, but softer at the same time. People spoke to him differently. Listened longer. Smiled more. Later he said something that stayed with me. I didn't change my haircut. I didn't lose weight. I didn't try to look younger. I just changed the color. That's the power of navy. It doesn't shout. It settles. It communicates respect and self-assurance simultaneously. It says, I'm confident enough to be calm. From a practical style perspective, navy is one of the most versatile colors an older man can own. It works in casual settings, professional environments, social gatherings, formal events. A navy blazer instantly elevates a simple outfit. A navy polo makes casual wear look intentional. A navy sweater tidies your appearance without effort. Even in relaxed settings, navy frames the body beautifully. It defines the shoulders, balances the torso, and contrasts perfectly with silver, white, or salt and pepper hair. That contrast is key. Instead of fighting your hair color, navy honors it. It makes gray hair look distinguished rather than aged. It gives white hair clarity rather than harshness. And when paired with soft neutrals, like white, beige, tan, or light gray, the effect is timeless. Not trendy. Not dated. Just correct. Another important aspect of navy is its emotional effect, not just on others, but on you. Studies in color psychology show that navy has a calming influence on the nervous system. It promotes feelings of control, clarity, and emotional steadiness. That's why men often report feeling more confident when wearing it, even if they can't explain why. Your body relaxes. Your movement slows slightly. Your voice steadies. You stop performing. You start being. And that is the kind of confidence that can't be faked. So if you were to choose just one color to rebuild your presence, one color that quietly restores vitality, authority, and sophistication, choose navy. It is elegant without being cold, powerful without being loud, masculine without being rigid. Navy doesn't demand attention. It earns it. And as a man grows older, that's exactly the kind of power that lasts. Olive green is one of the most overlooked and misunderstood colors in a man's wardrobe, especially for older men. Many associate green with youth, trendiness, or experimentation, so they avoid it. But olive is not a youthful green. It is a mature green. It sits precisely between two extremes. Not too bright. Not too dark. Bright greens feel forced on older men. They draw attention to themselves instead of supporting the man wearing them. Dark browns, on the other hand, can feel heavy. They absorb light, flatten the silhouette, and make the body appear rigid or tired. Olive does neither. It carries the calm authority of experience, and the grounded energy of a man who still moves with purpose. From a visual psychology standpoint, olive is deeply connected to nature. It evokes earth, trees, endurance, and resilience. And that matters. The human brain is wired to trust natural tones. We associate them with safety, reliability, and long-term strength. That's why olive green has always been used in uniforms, workwear, and military garments, not to show off, but to command quiet respect. Color psychology consistently links olive green with stability, experience, capability, emotional balance. These are not youthful traits. They are attractive, mature traits. On older men, olive does something remarkable. It softens the visible signs of aging without hiding them. On mature skin, olive helps minimize redness and uneven undertones. It balances both warm and cool complexions, which is rare. Men whose skin has become paler with age benefit from olive's warmth. Men whose skin has become weathered or tan benefit from its restraint. And when paired with gray, silver, or white hair, olive creates harmony rather than contrast. Instead of fighting your hair color, it frames it. Gray hair looks intentional. White hair looks distinguished. Silver hair looks refined. This is why olive works so well for older men who want to look modern without looking like they're trying too hard. I once met a 69-year-old former carpenter named Charles. For most of his life, he wore dark neutrals, mostly brown, gray, and black. He believed color was for younger men. Then one fall, his granddaughter bought him an olive green field jacket. At first, he hesitated. He thought it would draw attention. But the first time he wore it, something unexpected happened. Strangers spoke to him more openly. People held eye contact longer. Conversations felt easier. Even he felt different. "It's strange," he told me. "I didn't think color could make me feel confident again, but it did." That's the psychology of olive. It doesn't dominate a room. It grounds it. Olive projects the energy of a man who is comfortable in his own skin. A man who doesn't need to impress. A man who has nothing to prove. In age gap dynamics, this matters more than almost anything else. Younger energy attracts attention. Grounded energy creates safety. And safety creates desire. Olive green signals emotional steadiness and self-acceptance. It says, "I know who I am, and I don't need validation." That message is deeply magnetic. From a style perspective, olive is one of the most versatile colors an older man can wear. It works across seasons. It transitions easily from casual to refined. And it layers beautifully with other mature neutrals. Best ways to wear olive include field jackets, light coats, knit sweaters, casual blazers, chinos or tailored trousers. An olive jacket instantly adds character to a simple outfit. An olive sweater brings warmth without heaviness. Olive trousers soften the look of darker tops. When pairing olive, keep the surrounding colors calm. Navy deepens its authority. Beige and cream add softness. Charcoal provides structure. This combination creates balance, never contrast for contrast's sake. Another reason olive is so powerful is how it makes the wearer feel. Men often report feeling more relaxed and centered when wearing olive. Less tense. Less performative. More present. That's not coincidence. Earth-toned colors reduce psychological pressure. They align the nervous system rather than overstimulate it. When your body feels grounded, your movement slows slightly. Your posture settles. Your voice drops naturally. Confidence stops being something you force. It becomes something you inhabit. Olive works because it reflects earned strength, not borrowed youth. It doesn't try to reclaim the past. It honors the present. And that's why olive green isn't just a color. It's a statement. A statement that says, I'm still here. I'm still capable. And I'm completely at ease with who I've become. That kind of confidence never ages. Charcoal gray is often misunderstood. Many men hear gray and immediately think of dullness, fatigue, or fading relevance. So they avoid it, or wear the wrong version of it. But here is the distinction that matters. Charcoal gray is not the same as flat gray. Flat gray drains life from the face. It reflects too little warmth, exaggerates pallor, and emphasizes tired features. Charcoal does the opposite. Charcoal adds structure. It gives the body definition without harsh contrast. It sharpens the silhouette while remaining forgiving on aging skin. That balance is rare, and extremely valuable as a man grows older. From a visual standpoint, charcoal sits between black and mid-gray. It carries depth, but not severity. Black can be too final, too rigid, too unforgiving. Charcoal softens those edges. It smooths visual lines across the face. It reduces the appearance of wrinkles rather than highlighting them. It minimizes under-eye shadows instead of amplifying them. This is why men who transition away from black often look immediately more rested and composed. Charcoal communicates a very specific psychological message. It signals intelligence, precision, thoughtfulness, calm authority, not dominance, not intimidation, control. Charcoal is the color of men who don't rush. Men who think before they speak. Men who understand nuance. That's why it's favored in environments where credibility matters more than flair. Academia, design, engineering, architecture, leadership. For older men, this is critical. At a certain stage of life, attraction shifts. It's no longer about raw energy. It's about clarity. Charcoal reflects that clarity visually. In age gap dynamics, this matters more than people realize. Younger men often rely on contrast, boldness, and high energy to be noticed. Older men attract by projecting stability and competence. Charcoal sits perfectly in that space. It doesn't compete. It anchors. It tells the world, this man knows exactly who he is. From a style perspective, charcoal is one of the most powerful foundation colors an older man can own. It performs best in blazers, sweaters, trousers, structured outerwear. A charcoal blazer instantly elevates posture and presence. A charcoal sweater creates polish without stiffness. Charcoal trousers provide grounding without heaviness. Unlike lighter grays, charcoal doesn't wash out the body. Unlike black, it doesn't create sharp visual breaks. It flows. And flow is youth without pretending to be young. Charcoal is also exceptionally forgiving across different skin tones. On pale skin, it adds seriousness without coldness. On tanned or weathered skin, it provides contrast without harshness. On men with gray, white, or salt and pepper hair, charcoal creates visual continuity rather than conflict. The result is a unified appearance, one that feels intentional rather than accidental. Pairing charcoal correctly is where its power multiplies. With navy, it creates depth and quiet authority. With white or soft cream, it brightens the face and adds freshness. With muted blues, it introduces calm sophistication. The key is restraint. Charcoal does not want competition. It wants balance. When worn correctly, charcoal creates an impression that is modern, grounded, and quietly confident. Not tired. Not dated. Not invisible. Modern. There's another psychological layer to charcoal that most men never consider: how it affects the wearer internally. Charcoal promotes focus. It reduces visual noise. It supports mental clarity. Men often report feeling more composed and deliberate when wearing it. They speak more slowly, move with intention, stand more comfortably in their bodies. That internal shift translates outward. Confidence stops being something you signal. It becomes something people sense. This is why charcoal is often associated with men who lead without force. In age gap dynamics, this becomes even more important. Younger individuals aren't seeking competition from older men. They're drawn to steadiness, reassurance, and emotional calm. Cream and soft white project exactly that. They soften your presence without weakening it. They make you appear open rather than guarded, confident rather than defensive. There's also an important emotional effect on the wearer. Men often feel lighter, mentally and physically, when wearing cream tones. Less constrained. Less rigid. The body relaxes. Posture opens. Movements become more fluid. That relaxed state reads as youth, not because it looks young, but because it looks alive. From a style perspective, cream and soft white are foundational colors. They are best worn close to the face, where their effect is strongest. Shirts. Undershirts. Lightweight knitwear. Casual sweaters. A cream shirt instantly refreshes the face. A soft white knit adds clarity without sharpness. These tones also create the perfect contrast with darker, grounding colors. Pair cream with navy to add elegance and balance. Pair it with olive to introduce warmth and organic masculinity. Pair it with charcoal to brighten and modernize the look. This combination is powerful because it mirrors natural harmony. Light balanced by depth. Warmth balanced by structure. Another advantage of cream and soft white is their adaptability. They work across seasons. They transition effortlessly from casual to refined. And they flatter nearly every skin tone. Men with pale skin benefit from cream's warmth. Men with darker or weathered skin benefit from its softness. It's one of the rare colors that improves appearance without demanding attention. And that's the key. Cream does not compete. It complements. It doesn't say, "Look at me." It says, "You can relax around me." That message is subtle, but deeply persuasive. Cream and soft white are often worn by men who are emotionally settled. Men who don't feel the need to armor themselves against the world. Men who are comfortable being seen without hardness. This is why these tones read as youthful, not because they chase youth, but because they reflect ease. And ease is the real secret to aging well. When you wear cream or soft white, you're not trying to look younger. You're allowing people to see you clearly. Calm. Present. Alive. That's youth without trying. Youth fades. That is not a failure. It is a certainty. What most men misunderstand is not the loss of youth, but the belief that youth was ever the source of their power. It wasn't. Presence does not fade. Presence evolves. The men who remain attractive, respected, and quietly magnetic at any age are not the ones who fight time. They don't chase trends. They don't imitate younger men. They don't try to erase the years written into their face. They work with time. They understand something most people never learn. Aging is not subtraction. It is refinement. Every year removes what is unnecessary and sharpens what remains essential. Color is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to align with that truth. Because color doesn't ask you to change who you are. It simply allows who you've become to be seen clearly. When you wear the right colors, people don't think, "He's trying to look younger." They think, "He looks grounded. He looks composed. He looks comfortable in himself." And that comfort is deeply attractive. True confidence is not loud. It does not announce itself. It does not compete for attention. It settles. It shows up in the way you stand, the way you move, the way you speak, and the way you pause. When your appearance supports your maturity instead of fighting it, confidence stops being something you perform. It becomes something you inhabit. That's why color matters so much. It shapes first impressions before a word is spoken. It influences how safe people feel around you. It determines whether others lean in or pull back. And the right colors do one thing above all else. They reduce resistance. People don't feel challenged by you. They feel drawn to you. Not because you're trying to impress, but because you're at ease. That ease is what lasts. In age gap dynamics, in social spaces, in everyday interactions, what people respond to is not youth. They respond to clarity. They respond to steadiness. They respond to a man who knows who he is and doesn't apologize for it. Real attraction doesn't come from pretending to be someone else. It comes from alignment. Alignment between your age and your energy. Between your experience and your appearance. Between who you are and how you show up in the world. That is what these colors do. They don't disguise time. They honor it. And when time is honored, something powerful happens. You stop trying to be seen. And people start noticing you naturally. If this video helped you see yourself differently, even slightly, comment confidence below. Not for me. For yourself. It's a small declaration. But it matters. Subscribe if you value calm strength, timeless presence, and wisdom that doesn't expire. Because real attraction does not age. It deepens. And so do you.